Construction of the Honolulu rail transit is still ongoing, but not without encountering a lot of resistance. Recent examples include a nationally televised news broadcast criticizing the project to be behind schedule and over budget, along with a Washington Post full page and requesting President Trump to halt additional funding, not to mention a looming deadline for local officials to submit a financial recovery plan to the federal government. Here's EBC Hawaii correspondent Alfred Acenas with a closer look on this multi-billion-dollar mass transit system.
I'm standing along Kamehameha Highway just outside Pearl Harbor and not far from the National Historic Sites behind me. The guideway seen here is already part of the second half of construction, which will lead all the way to Honolulu International Airport before heading further into downtown. Construction began in 2012, starting in Kapolei on West Oahu. Stretching a total of 20 miles or 32 kilometers, the mostly elevated structure continues through the plantations at Eva Beach and through Farrington Highway in Waipahu. The line continues along Kamehameha Highway in Pearl City, then Aiea, before reaching the halfway point at Aloha Stadium. Now, despite the noise, the traffic that take place, like the one here in Aiea and Pearl Ridge, residents and establishments remain optimistic that once this project is complete, other folks from other islands, and especially the tourists here in Oahu, will take advantage of this mass public transit system, thus a return on investment. Once the rail becomes operational by late 2020, service is projected to extend to 20 hours a day, with automated trains running every 2.4 minutes on weekday peak periods and every 4.7 minutes during off-peak hours. There will be a total of 21 stations, some of which will stop at several schools, colleges, tourist attractions, and familiar landmarks. Right now, I'm across the street from the Ala Moana Center, which is supposed to be the last stop for Honolulu Rail. Just a few hundred meters, or even less than a quarter mile, in that general direction towards Waikiki. Travel time from West Oahu to this spot is a little bit over an hour, but not without stopping in places like Chinatown, the Financial District, and Honolulu Harbor. At the time this story was produced, and according to sources, state lawmakers between the House and Senate have been at odds over plans to extend a tax to cover a $3 billion shortfall. These legislative meetings come as Honolulu Mayor Kirk Caldwell is asking for a 10-year extension to pay for the project, whose costs have nearly doubled to $10 billion US. Meanwhile, rail officials must provide a new recovery plan to the Federal Transit Administration. At stake is $1.5 billion in additional funding. So the signs of progress are evident, and as the work continues, so do the criticisms from here, mainland, and everywhere else, even to the extent that the whole effort could still get derailed permanently if not properly addressed and managed. But by the same token, all stakeholders can agree that completely abandoning this project could mean political and economic suicide, not just for this island, but for the entire state of Hawaii. Reporting from Honolulu, I'm Alfred Acenas for Eagle News. I'm one with 25.